If you're gonna be watching pretty much every long hitter, you're not gonna see them wind on the left leg, right? They're all gonna be winding on the right side so they can move the weight and the hips on the left so they can create the momentum, right? So you move right, momentum shifts, and then you can actually smash the ball and get the correct sequence.
So your hips have only one chance, and that chance is to go up and move your hips like this. Is we need space between our hips and our arms. How do we achieve that? Definitely not by going on the left.
What's up, golfers? Welcome back to GP Golfing. As you've probably seen the title or the thumbnail, you probably know what this is about, and it's about weight transfer. And look, there's been so many misconceptions of how to properly transfer your weight in golf, and especially in the past 5, 6, 7 years, there has been going around, you should transfer your weight on the left leg, and then you can bounce from your feet up and you're gonna get power. And look, there's many true players who've gone to the biggest and highest level of golf, and most amateurs trying to copy those, but it's not really a good idea, because all of those professionals have trained all their life to actually get somewhere. And even though their swing is not fundamentally and technically the best that like Tiger Woods or Rory, it's definitely working because they've managed to keep that swing and actually go from there. So today I just want to give you my perspective on weight transfer, and I think the weight transfer is one of the key aspects of golf. And I think if you get the weight transfer wrong in your swing, then everything else is gonna sequence wrong. From the club to the divots to pushing the ball, pulling the ball, everything can come from the weight transfer. So I kind of wanna go back and say the weight transfer is the cornerstone of your swing, right? You're gonna have wrong weight transfer, you're not gonna be able to be consistent with your shots. A little bit more about myself. I am a tour professional. I've been playing golf for more than 20 years. I have been on my journey for around 8-9 years. Coaching myself, I haven't had a coach, and thank God I didn't have, because I wouldn't be here as I am right now. So I'm just going to be showing you my experience, what I think it's right, and how you should, well, not how you should, but a possible way that you can transfer your weight correctly in this sense and actually start getting your game into a better shape and actually hitting the ball much stronger and much straighter. So yeah, I think that's about it. We're gonna go to the golf course right now, and I'm gonna be showing you everything that I know from weight transfer so you guys can understand a little bit better. So thank you very much. Let's go.
So at home we briefly covered weight transfer. Now we need to go to a little bit more technical stuff so you can actually see in real life how this works. Now we're gonna start off with the weight transfer on the left leg. Now this is what I do not want, right? This is if you were my player and I was coaching you, and if you would be doing this would be the first thing that we would change, right? My father always told me is the biggest mistake that you can do at a long game is transferring your weight like this, because this ruins everything, and I'm gonna explain everything. And then the second thing is going to be how to properly transfer your weight. So we move to the right, okay? Now, let's start. So the first thing is, as I said before, in the past few years, no, past 5-6 years, I don't even know, it's been quite a long time, many coaches have been teaching this, right? So when you go in the bag, you already transfer your weight left, right? You see this? Boom. There's probably many of you guys who actually play like this and like, wow, this is good, right? I really, then I have power to go up. Let me explain you why this is the worst mistake. So in golf, what we need space between our hips and our arms. How do we achieve that? Definitely not by going on the left. Now what happens when you move your way to the left? Now when we're here, there's many things that can happen, but we're gonna focus on main things. The main thing is, when you're here, there's nowhere for your hips to move. The only way your hips can move from here is if you turn them this way, okay? When you're here, your hips can't go there because you're gonna fall back on your ass, right? If you're here, you can't sway left because you're gonna fall left. So your hips have only one chance, and that chance is to go up and move your hips like this, right? So what coaches have been teaching is, when you go on the left, you load up your left foot, and then from here you propel up so you get the power. But this is not where the power comes from. You can maybe hit slightly longer if you do this, but you're gonna lose so much consistency, and this is why. You go on the left leg, you have to move up and there, and then what happens to your right elbow? You're gonna see from the back camera, you get stuck. So you go here, you get stuck, what happens? My club and my arm is nowhere to go, so either I push the ball, right? Or I pull or hook the ball. Do you see where I'm coming from? Right? Let's do it again. Slow motion. We go there, we load up, and then from here you kind of have to go like that. I'm gonna hit one just for the reference. So you go here, right? We gotta pull because I got stuck. If I was to block my hand, it would go right. Now this is the most important thing. Now we got the second thing that happens when you go on the left leg is you move too much and you have too much of this, right? You're gonna see from the back camera. You move on to the left. What happens to my club? You see how my club is upwards, right? If I move this right here, you see how my hands are gonna move with this, right? So I go back, I go up, my club is most likely gonna go more like this. And then what I need to do from here, either I need to shallow or either I need to lose my hands and then go from here, just like Bryson. Not like Bryson, but he shows to go, like this. Now this is where the left weight transfer is totally wrong. Especially with, this could work with sand, pitching wedge, maybe those things, but when you go to like driver, when you really extend and you go here, there's nowhere for you to transfer your weight, okay? This is just a simple explanation. Now let's go to the correct way. And if you have been watching Tour, there's two swings that I absolutely adore and love. Tiger Woods and Rory. And none of them does this. Now let me show you what the correct way is. This is how I play, and I have a really good weight transfer. That's why I can be so consistent and I can hit the ball very far. From here, when you stand the ball, you always need to feel that you move a little bit to the right, okay? Now the problem that maybe you as an amateur or a coach has been telling you, when you move to the right, you're gonna sway. Swaying is bad. Swaying is good, but all in a proportionate area, right? If you're gonna sway like this, it's not gonna be good. Right? Same if you move, your weight too much to the right and too much to the left, it's not gonna be good. You need to be in a consistent area of a balance, okay? So I want you to feel like you have 50% weight distribution, okay? And now from here, let's say I have a 7-iron. Of course, if you're gonna have 60 degree, you're gonna sway less and you're gonna move less to the right. But still always have a feel that you move a little bit to the right. Now when you move a little bit to the right, I have 7-iron, you move a little bit to the right. Now my left knee is not gonna go that way, but it's gonna go here. You see from the back how this changes. If I go with my club up, you see how this will change. You see my club, right? Boom, 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 okay? And you want to be in this position. I mean, in this position rather than this position. So when you go in the backswing, you sway a little bit to the right, you move your weight, and now my weight is here, okay? Now we can use the portion of loading up a little bit on the left foot, because this is just the normal physical aspect of the golf. When we go up, right, we're always gonna pressurize a little bit of the left foot, but then from here, I don't want you to, go this way. This is another mistake. You don't wanna go that way. Your hips should move in a line of a little bit of a sway and a little bit of a kind of this motion. So from here, you're gonna see from the back, this motion, kind of left back, right? So when I go up from here, I kind of push it a little bit that way, right? So I clear my hips and I move my hips, from the front area. So if my hips are here, I move my hips back and left, right? You see, here, back and left. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but just for you to understand and to get the feel on how your hips should move. So let me hit a shot for you, okay? And I'm gonna be moving a little bit to the right, and now hips, boom, okay? I'm afraid to hit the ball because of my mic, so that's why I push every time the ball. But anyways, from here, when you go here, you clear your hips that way, and now as I said before, how your hand should move down is when you go in the top of the swing, your hips should always move first. All right, if you look at the slow motion of all the good strikers, you're gonna see up, 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 and then my hips start to move, and then my hands are gonna fall because of my hips, and then I have everything on a line so I can transfer the weight correctly forward. The really good mistake that it's over the top. I mean, you probably know, you've probably done it so many times. You go up, you're too fast, you go here, right? That's why you really need to be stable with your body. You go up, and then from here, you kind of have the feel that your hips trigger this motion, bam, you know, kind of like a squat. I'm exaggerating, don't get me wrong. I'm exaggerating just so you can see the feel. Feel is always different than the actual, you know, play and the actual swing that you do. But this is my feel. And then at the end, I'm probably gonna be a little bit like this, right? Just to get the space in. And then from here, you have the space to move your hips. And when you get the space to move your hips there, you can clear the hips, and then you can come at the ball with, you know, space between your hips and your arms. We got another tip. We pretty much covered the main part of the weight transfer. Now let me cover the second part. And then from here, this is kind of mostly for, it's a very basic thing, but I think you need to understand. When we move with our arms and hips, this all needs to be connected. We don't want to start with our hips, with our arms and then hips are straight. And we don't want to start with our hips and then our arms move, okay? This all needs to be synced together. So you're gonna see from here, or from the slow motion video, how everything goes in line. You see my club is where my hips are gonna be aiming. So I go here, you see, it's kind of turning all together. And then when I go more up, then my hands are gonna, you know, wind, and then hips, and then I move along the way. So this is kind of the weight transfer that I want you to understand, because I don't know if I've seen one single good player who transferred the weight like this and actually is a good striker. Of course you have some on a PJ Tour, but don't compare yourself to a PJ Tour player where they have been practicing their own swing for many years, for 15 years, just to perfect that. It doesn't matter if it's technically perfect, but still you need to, as an amateur and as somebody who doesn't play as much golf, you need to get to a position where you can ease yourself, right? So with more fundamentals and basic fundamentals and the correct fundamentals that you're gonna have, the easier it's going to be for you to hit the ball. Right now, for me, if I go to Scotty Scheffler swing, I'm not gonna be able to swing, even though I've been playing golf for 20 years, right? So just try to keep that in mind. So this is a longer video because you need to understand how to move your weight and everything properly. And it's hard to explain in like 1 or 2 minutes. But now I'm gonna give you a few more shots. If you know, you can skip that. But otherwise, we're gonna go at home. We're gonna do a few different slow motion shots, and I'm gonna be telling you a little bit more in detail with my swing, and then we can compare maybe with Tiger Woods or Rory, so you can see, you know, how the proper movement actually works. So we'll see you at home. You can skip this part, but I'm gonna be hitting maybe 20 balls so you can see how my balls actually go and how I actually swing in the real time, because many coaches don't actually know how to swing and how to hit the ball properly. This is why I have an advantage on all of those coaches. So let's hit some balls. Yeah. Alrighty, we got pitching wedge right now. Same corridor. Really nice. Just a little bit of a session with me. If you like how I play, I think this will be nice to show you how I actually hit the ball and show you this in real time. Perfect. I've been starting to play really good right now. I'm actually really surprised on how everything works. Now we're gonna have a 3-iron right here. Now these are such blades. Look at this, man. I can have them for the shaving, but I think I will need to change these blades because they're super hard to hit, really hard to hit, and it's not really meant to be even for really good strikers. It's always great to have something, you know, a little bit easier so you can ease your life and ease your golf. So I might get 6, 5, 4, 3, a little bit bigger size, but let's hit 3-iron. But they sound amazing if I hit it right, so. This was perfectly straight. Really good. Really, really, really good. Let's do another one. Yeah, push. This is what happens to my 3-iron when I don't correctly transfer my weight. I stay behind, so I go up and then I don't clear my hips, and as I said before, I get stuck a little bit behind, and that's where the push comes from. So this is kind of the biggest problem. But yeah, let's do another one. A little bit of a pull, 5 meters. That's good. I'm too complicated always when it comes to hitting it straight. I think a really big problem on the driving range is when you got such a big area, and then if you don't have a target, then you can hit a 50-meter push and you're still like, oh, that's okay. But when you go on the course and you hit on the flag and you hit a 50-meter push, it's like, yeah, I just lost 2 shots. So it's always great on the driving range to pick just some kind of corridor or something to get the area of same as on the golf course. So let's hit 2 more drivers. I'm gonna hit 1 more driver because I can't be hitting drivers here, it goes too far. So let me just hit 1 for you guys, and yeah. Bam! Man, I love fucking hitting drivers. This was so awesome. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna see you at home.
Alright, so I'm gonna start off by showing I have 5 different slow motion videos of my swing. We have 60-degree to driver. I'm gonna be showing you my swing and a little bit more on hip rotation and how you should move your hip. Then I'm gonna be showing you Tiger Woods and Rory on the driver and on iron, so you can see the similarity of what I'm trying to say. So yeah, let's begin. Right. So the first thing is we got my lob wedge. All right. Now this is gonna be the front camera. Now what I want you to see here is just watch. All right. Gonna start off. You see, I stayed centered. Okay. I stayed centered. I move my hips a little bit right, and then when I start going up, you're gonna see from here. When I start going up, my hands, you see hips, right? You see hips. I go up, and then my hips start to move, and my hands and my club is still in the same area, right? So we move hips, and then we created the enough space so we can go through the ball. All right. Now let's go to the front. So we got the front, the back right here. Now watch the same thing, okay? We move up, boom, and now hips started to move. You see? Watch. We go up, my hands and my club stay still. We move with our hips back, creating the space, and then we move along the way. Right, now let's go to iron. Let me show you my iron as well. We go to the front. You're gonna see I'm gonna be swinging a little bit more. So with the long club that you go, you need to sway, you need to move a little bit more to the right, because there's, the club is longer and you need more space and more length to your club. So with driver, you're gonna move more, and with lob wedges and pitching wedges and all of the wedges, you're gonna stay more centered. So just keep that in mind. But from here, I think this is a 7-iron. We move. You see, I moved a little bit more back, right? So from here, I'm not moving much, but I just moved a touch so I don't go to the left leg, right? So we started moving. See, my hips are moving, rotating, and now I'm going up, and now you're gonna see my hips started to move. You see this, right? My club is still going, same as before. My hips started to move more, and this is where I create the space with my irons, okay? Boom. And we're gonna go from the back as well. Watch this. Just gonna keep this running, so you're gonna see we go up, and now from here, bam, my hips started to move, and my hands are still in the same area. We create the space, and then we hit the ball. All right. Now, as I said before, on the driving range, the drill that Tiger Woods does. So this is kind of the thing that I wanted to show you. See this? So this is kind of clearing the hips, just to get the feel of how your hips should move in the downwards. I know you're not gonna be like this, but just for example. Now let's go to Rory, right? You're gonna see how he moves hips even more, because a lot of times I have the problem of keeping the hips too tight and not moving them. That's where I don't create space, so I hit a push or a pull. Now you're gonna see how Rory does this really good, right? He goes up. Now watch this. You see his hips? Now he's gonna start to move. Bam. Right? Move, move, move. You see how he moves them. I usually stay in like, a little portion of, this kind of area, so I don't move as much, but this is really nice. So this is kind of what I'm trying to say, that it's the right move. I know you have to be powerful for this, but still, this is kind of the move to go. Now let's go to the driver. I don't have, I just have the front because the back didn't work. So this is my driver. Now you're gonna see I'm gonna be swaying much more here. Watch, I swayed a little bit more. I rotate, and now hips are gonna move more. But you see here, my hips could be moving and sliding a little bit more left, so I create more space so I don't hit pushes, and I have enough of the space right here. But this is really good. So here we move, and then we turn and we smash the ball, right? So now I'm gonna show you Tiger Woods, right? Rory, I know it's a bad quality, I'm sorry, but just watch the left side, right? He turns, he winds up, and then you see his ass moves and his hips move so far left. So in this case, right. Watch this, right? You see this? Look at the move, right? Hands stay above on the left, and then hips move. He creates the space. Look in the right. So what he does, watch, bam, and then he moves his hips. He clears the space. He moves them to the right placement, and then he gets the par from there. And then Tiger Woods, of course, we cannot forget Tiger Woods. We watch the left. He winds up, and then watch left club. His hips move so far left, they slide a little bit, and this is where the power comes from, right? So sliding, pushing left back, and then from here he creates the space and he moves the ball so much further and just smashes the ball. And if you're gonna be watching pretty much every long hitter, you're not gonna see them wind on the left leg, right? They're all gonna be winding on the right side, so they can move the weight and the hips on the left, so they can create the momentum, right? So you move right, momentum shifts, and then you can actually smash the ball and get the correct sequence. So yeah, this is pretty much what I wanted to show you. I don't know what else to say, guys. Hopefully you guys liked the video. If you did, please hit a like and subscribe, and let me know how you feel about this, how you've been playing with, which weight transfer you've been doing. And yeah, hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much. Bye bye.